Hi everybody, Mitch here. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk about everybody's favorite subject, passwords. Now I know you love passwords. You love those especially crazy ones that have special characters like braces and brackets and asterisks and stuff like that. And we know you just live for that. Well, that bit of craziness is not recommended anymore. So the good news is hopefully most websites won't force you to do that. So what are the recommendations these days? Well, it's pretty simple. Number one, don't change your password unless you think it's been compromised or the website says they've been compromised or you forget it. So that's pretty easy, right? Not a problem. You only need to change it under those circumstances. You do not need to change it every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. That's nonsense. All that does is cause people to pick insecure passwords because they always have to change them. So that's number one. Number two, longer is better, but without all those crazy characters. So, if your password is, I like pink shirts. Well, that's a good one, maybe. Someone's not likely to guess it, and it's long enough that cracking it is going to be really, really hard. So that's number two. That's called a passphrase. And the subject for another day, but I recommend using password managers because if you do that, then you don't have to remember that. And then number three is always use multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication, you see it with online banking, is very common, where they'll send you a text message with a code, and after you've entered your user ID and password, they ask you for the code, and you enter that code, and it logs you in. The reason that is that if somebody goes off and steals your password, compromises your password, they can't get in. That alone is not sufficient to let somebody get in and empty your bank account out, which is kind of a really neat feature because you probably don't want some stranger emptying out your bank account. There are many different ways that you can support multi-factor authentication. The most common one is, as I said, a text message, although some folks use voice phone calls. That's an option. Sometimes when you have an app that's associated with the website, they'll send a notification to the app. The app will pop up something on your phone, and you say, yep, I did that, and it lets you log into the web. Lots of different ways. What I will say is that text messages are the least secure of the bunch because text messages are sent unencrypted over the airwaves, and and there's other reasons they can be compromised, but that's the least secure one. When possible, use a password manager. Again, subject for a different day, but there are these password manager and multi-factor authentication apps, and some of them do both, that allow you to go off and generate a new one-factor a new second-factor authentication without having to transmit anything. That way, there's nothing for them to eavesdrop. And if they compromise your text messages or steal your phone number, that's still not going to let them get in. But still, even text messages is a lot better than not having anything. So those are kind of the recommendations. Oh, length. Yeah, length. So longer is better. I think I may have said that, but 12, 15 characters, that would be great. And if it's a passphrase like, I like pink shirts or, whatever, I like to ride my bike in the park, that's pretty easy to remember. So with that, that's my recommendations on passwords, and I'll talk about password managers and a related item, multi-factor authentication apps, later. But if you do that, I think you'll be in good shape to the extent that the website that you're going to allows that. Sometimes they're kind of weird and they have their own rules. But as long as it lets you do that, then you're good. So thanks for listening and stay safe.